SpreadTheNet.org is down here on campus today, and they're just making a public service announcement for everyone at the university, as well to raise awareness about malaria and the causes in Africa. So we're going to soon have an interview with Rick Mercer from the Rick Mercer Report and from Spread the Net as the co-founder, and he's going to come in this room here, and we're going to have a great time in the International House. Welcome to Mike and the Mike Show, everyone. My name is Mike Valenti, and here joins me today at Ottawa University, Rick Mercer.
Hi Mike, how are you?
Great, I'm terrific. How are you?
I'm thrilled to be here.
Yes, so we're here inside the International House.
Yes.
Let's start the interview here.
Yes.
So you're part of Spread the Net.
Yes, Spread the Net. That's what I'm doing here today at the University of Ottawa, spreading the net.
So you were outside and you were talking to students and you were out there at your podium. What was it like with all the people and all the cameras and stuff like that on you?
I liked it.
You liked it?
Well, I liked the crowd. I was glad that there was a crowd there. I was glad that a lot of university students came out. That was fantastic, and I think it's a good cause, and it's it's very simple, right? $10 spreads a net. Saves a life, $10. And luckily we live in a country where everyone can wrap their head around spending $10 to save a life, including university students.
Exactly.
And by and large, so far it looks like the University of Ottawa is going to do a great service, and they're going to start the challenge, and hopefully they're going to win it.
Now you're co-founder of Spread the Net. What inspired you, and what made you want to be co-founder?
I went to Africa.
Exactly.
Which I never ever planned on going to Africa. And then Belinda Stronach asked me to go to Africa, and I didn't even know the woman, but then I thought, okay, I'll go. And then of course I thought, if I go to Africa, I'm not going to be one of those guys that comes back like spouting statistics and here I am, spread the net. Here I am. We're fighting malaria now. Because when you go, what are you going to do?
You're gonna
you see the dying babies, and you come back and you go, $10 will save a life. Okay, let's do it. And you know what? And it's just working out great. We've already ordered 44,000 bed nets, which is or 42,000 bed nets, and that's most of that are just regular Canadians going to the website spreadthenet.org, spending $10, saving a life. And it's phenomenal. And in fact, you save more than one life, because they usually shove 2 or 3 babies underneath there. Like you would, right? If you had 3 babies one night, that's what you did.
So simply you can go to spreadthenet.org to, post and use your MasterCard, Visa, whatever.
Whatever.
Use check by mail, whatever. Any form of way to just help it out. So Rick Mercer here, you're a comedian, you have your own show, of course, everyone knows that. And what were people's reactions to you, being here as co-founder and Spread the Net? Like, what were they like? Were they like, oh, well, he's a comedian and they don't take you seriously? Or were they like, wow, this guy's doing a great thing and we really appreciate it? What do you think?
I have no idea.
You don't know?
I don't
know. For one, I think that it's a great thing that you're doing this. And, for someone like yourself who has a great face in the media, of course it's going to help out and get a little more.
It doesn't really matter what people think about me. All they have to do is, once they hear about the cause, it's a very good cause, and I think that by and large, I'm very lucky. A lot of young people watch the show, a lot of university students watch the show, and by and large, at least when they talk to me on the street, they say nice things. Maybe behind my back they say I'm a hack or something, I don't know, but generally they're pretty good. Well, like I said, I went to Africa, and now it's just another part of my life now. I mean, I wouldn't have done it if I wasn't committed to it. And so it's just one of those things that, there's no difference. I mean, someone who works on TV for a living is no different than anyone else. I mean, most Canadians are pretty philanthropic, and they either give money to causes or they volunteer or what have you. It's just, if you're on TV, sometimes people think, oh, wow, he does so much. But, I came and spent a couple of hours here today for this cause, but then there's other university students selling hot dogs for the cause, and it's the same amount of time, it's just I get a little bit more attention, that's all.
Exactly.
And so it's no different than what anyone else does, really.
So spreadthenet.org, guys.
You got that.
Go donate, be the best Canadian you can. Honestly, guys, like $10, come on, it's essential.
Sold.
You guys got to do it.
They're
sold. Seriously.
They're sold. I know they're sold.
Jeez, like $100 would be, amazing.
7 nets.
Yes.
That's why I didn't get through high school, you see.
Oh, okay.
And I also like the $10 incremental. Yeah. Because even I can do the math. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's easy like that.
Yeah, if it was $8.50 a net, or like, God forbid, $11.75, I'd be all right. I couldn't do that.
Now, Rick, so how did it all begin with you in your career with comedy? Like, you have your own show now, but what made you want to do it, and how did you get to that point where you're at now?
I had a sketch comedy group, like you do, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And
Skim Bros?
Yeah, I was doing the Skim Bros there, and I had a comedy group as well. There was 4 of us, and we used to do sketches, but I was kind of, my real passion is politics, so while I was doing regular comedy sketches, which I liked doing, I used to like talking about politics, and so for about a minute or two inside our sketch shows, I would talk about like very current events from that week. And that kind of evolved into me just ranting, because I didn't have many skills, so I just stand on stage and rant. And I've just basically been ranting ever since. That's basically what I just started doing professionally.
Did you try to seek out for attention, or did people come to you?
Well, we had a comedy troupe, so people would come, and then eventually my big break was I came here to Ottawa and did a show in the middle of the Meech Lake Accord debates called Show Me the Button, I'll Push It, or Charles Lynch Must Die. And Charles Lynch was a very well-known journalist in Canada. He used to be the head of Southern News, and he was a crotchety old man who wrote a column that said, you know, you probably don't remember the Meech Lake Accord, but anyway, Newfoundland was all up in arms about it. And he said, you know, push comes to shove, we just kicked Newfoundland out of Confederation. So I did this show, Charles Lynch Must Die. And I came here, I was young enough and stupid enough to actually do a one-person show, even though I didn't know what I was doing. I stood on stage and ranted for 90 minutes about why Charles Lynch should be, like, strung up. And then Charles Lynch agreed to go on television and debate me on the Meech Lake Accord. So it was this huge constitutional issue, and Charles Lynch, one of Canada's, you know, greatest journalists, is going to debate like a 19-year-old.
Wow.
Which I was shit-baked, but then we went on and we just yelled at each other. Every time he said something, I'd say, "You're nuts!"
Yeah.
And people loved it. And as a result, the show started getting a lot of attention, and I started touring around the country, and Charles Lynch, God love him, would, everywhere I would do that show, he would do radio with me, he would do television with me, because he loved the attention. And eventually, you know, the show ended up playing all across the country. And interestingly enough, he started dying of cancer. And he started writing about the fact he was dying of cancer. So I would be doing the show somewhere, and the producers would say, look, we're going to book you for a month, but you can't call the show Charles Lynch Must Die, because he's writing columns in the paper how he's dying. But then Charles Lynch said I wasn't allowed to change the title. By this time we were kind of friendly.
Yeah.
So I never changed the title. Thank God he lived. But then about 2 or 3 years after I stopped doing the show and I was on doing other things, he finally passed away. And about a month after he died, I got an envelope in the mail addressed to me in his handwriting, and I opened it up, and there's the church bulletin from his funeral, and attached to it is a note that said, "Dear Rick, for your files, best, Charles Lynch."
Wow.
So he got the last laugh, the little shagger.
Jeez.
From beyond the grave.
Yeah.
And he wrote it out and gave it to his son and said, when I die, stick this to the bulletin. And
That's
mail it to
amazing.
him. Yeah.
Wow. So with the comedy team that you started up, like us as Skim Bros, we're trying to get our name out there as well, and we're trying to get more exposure in Ottawa first before we hit Canada, all of Canada. But back then, when you were doing this, you didn't have things like YouTube or Facebook or MySpace, right?
No.
So was it a lot harder for you to do that?
You know what? We used to make little films, and I'm so old that we actually made films. We used to in our show, because we wanted to do television and we were so into that, but we actually shot little films on film, and then we had a projector that played
Oh, really?
That's
so it
how
was really
old
low,
I am.
really low quality.
No, it was good quality.
It was?
Yeah, but
You were shooting
it was
films,
just,
though.
but it was film is better than video. It's
But you were
just
shooting
really
film.
complicated.
Yeah.
You know, you got to go out and you got to develop the bloody film, and you only have like, you know, you spend $100 and you only get this much film. And it was very complicated, but that's what we did. And so if there was YouTube, we just would have put it on YouTube.
Of course, yeah. Like we're doing now. Like
That's it.
but without YouTube, would it cost you more money to do it? Because of course you don't have anywhere to show
We
it.
didn't have any money, so we weren't spending any money. But it's certainly expensive to make films. Although we were lucky, there was the Newfoundland Independent Filmmakers Cooperative, and they were kind of like kooky socialists, and they liked young people around. So they'd say, yeah, sure, you can use the equipment, but you just got to help paint the
Oh, okay. So it's a little
co-op,
deal, yeah.
man. Help
Okay.
paint the co-op, and you can use the equipment.
What is it like living in Newfoundland?
I still owe them a couple hours of painting.
Oh no.
Newfoundland's great.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like another planet. It's funny.
Everyone's nice there too, right? Like everyone's just like they
Except
stop their
they're
cars for
nice.
you and they let you cross the
Oh yeah,
street.
they're
Like
nosy is what they are. They're not nice. They just want to know everything about you.
yeah.
That's it. After they know, then you're out the door. No, Newfoundland is great.
Okay.
You've never been.
I've never been. I've only been to places in Ontario and Quebec and most of the states. So, with talking with Americans.
Yeah. Gotta go to Newfoundland.
I did a video called A Canuck in NYC, which was similar to your style of your show. I just try my best not to copy you because, of course,
didn't you?
I did. I talked about igloos and like the stuff like that, and I looked at all
That's
this
okay.
stuff.
I don't do that anymore. That's good.
No, okay. So it's
Take
not
the-
copyrighted anymore.
Take the baton and run, my friend.
All right, so I'll take over the show for now. With you doing that show, that must have been a really fun experience going to the United States.
Awesome. It was the best job ever because it wasn't the hardest work I ever did. If you know what I mean. Like it was, you know.
Was it improvised? Was it like
It was
written or what?
improvised, but you know they never knew the answers ever, so it was easy. And then I lied to the producers, and I told them that it would take like 9 hours to do a segment, but it really only took about 3.5 hours. So we'd just pick a place we want to go. We'd say, geez, it'd be cool to see a ball game at Wrigley Field. Okay, let's go there, do talking to Americans. Then we'd shoot all morning, go see a ball game in the afternoon. After the ball game, we'd call the producers and go, we're still out here shooting. It's great. It's
Wow.
fantastic.
Actually, you know, I'm very inspired by you, and like I think that we do have a lot of comedy. We do comedy sketches. You know, we're going in the same path as you kind of went into as well. I mean, I went to United States in New York City, and I did that. I just found a spot. Went to like Madison Square Garden. Went to like down near the Empire State Building. Just started some interviews with some kids and with some people, and they don't know anything. I mean, Americans like they're just.
Did you wear a suit?
A what?
A suit.
I was wearing something like this. Yeah,
yeah, that's the secret.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you look like a reporter. They'll tell you anything.
Exactly. I'm just saying I'm a reporter from Ottawa, Canada, and they're like,
Exactly.
oh,
And
is that near Toronto? I'm like, oh,
They're
geez.
so polite that they'll do it.
Exactly.
I know.
Some of them are stuck up though, but I mean, Americans are great. It's all about entertainment in America. And when I went there, I noticed that they didn't know anything about Canada. They thought that right when you got over the border, it was like, brrr, it was cold.
It's true.
I'm like, so have you ever been to Canada? They're like, no, or like, I've been to Toronto or Montreal or something like that. And they talked about when they went to Montreal, they saw those big ice hotels.
Yeah.
And they were talking about the ice hotels, and it was just silly how they saw ice hotels. They're saying that
But we do have the ice hotels.
we do have the ice
I know.
hotels, but the whole point is they're not everywhere.
No.
And that's not what we live in.
No.
And that's not what we stay in hotels. That's not our hotels.
I know.
I mean, and I think that the Canadian media is not showing enough of what it actually is like in Canada.
Well, they don't watch it.
They don't.
Doesn't
They
matter.
don't watch what we do anyways. Like I mean, Stephen Harper's trying to get more involved with George Bush because he wants more media attention, and as well he wants to help out the Americans. Pick one.
Ask me a question.
Ask me a question. The last one. How did it feel to be tackled by a football team?
Well, today I was lifted up by a football team.
You weren't tackled.
No, I wasn't tackled, but I was actually tackled by a football team. Yeah, it hurt. I was
CFL.
tackled by a lacrosse team. That hurt. I was in a demolition derby. That hurt. You would usually on Sunday morning when I get out of the shower, that's when I look in the mirror and go, God Almighty, what the hell is that? And there's usually like big bruises all over me. That's when I know I did a good show that week.
Anyways, guys, so we're going to wrap up the show now. We'd like to thank Rick Mercer for coming down. Is there any inspiring words you'd like to say to people that are watching Mike and Mike show or Skim Bros comedy that maybe
You
they...
never told me I had to do inspiring words.
I mean, just to give us some advice to the people watching. Just say, hey, try to inspire them. Come on.
I don't inspire people.
You inspire me. Come on.
Well, thank you.
What can you say? Come on. How did you get to where you did? No, why
No,
not?
I won't do it. They must die so I can live. I'm not inspiring anyone.
Anything you'd like to say? Just to
No, that's it. Spreadthenet.org.
Spreadthenet.org.
That's what we're here for.
Go,
Good
guys,
luck with
donate.
your comedy career.
Oh, thank you very much.
All right.